not a MacBook Air. It's like,
I'm doing that now. Okay, so looks like we're on. So I apologize to the viewers. We had some issues with this the platform that we're using to stream today's show, but we're back. And just to give those a recap of what we are discussing, I'm here today with today's guest, David Crownson of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer fame. And he's also doing a Kickstarter right now called Nightmare in Newark, which is doing extremely well, because I was tracking that shit. Um, but I don't want you to rehash what you said, but just a brief, summary as to who you are and what you've done and what you're currently doing.
yeah,
Welcome.
yeah, no problem. Everyone, I'm David Crownson. I'm the founder of Kingwood Comics. I'm a writer, creator of comic books, and a publisher of comic books. I'm an actor. I'm a filmmaker. I created Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. Made that to scare racist white people, make black people feel good. Um, um, and Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer is going to be a TV show produced by Prentice Petty, Sebastian Jones, dope, awesome black people. And it'll probably be out in maybe 2 or 3 years. Lots of dope, awesome black writers involved that I can't talk about, but it's dope. Um, what else? What else? And yeah, yes, I am the writer trader of Nightmare in Newark, and the Kickstarter is live. So pledge, donate, pre-order that stuff, please, pretty please. The cherry on top. Mm.
For those who are unaware, when you go to the link, which I will put back in here, because I do want you guys to support. When you go to this page, and he has this cool intro, because normally, when people do a Kickstarter, they'll have like a little video of the comic book, and they'll show you a few panels, and it has some cool music playing. But David's he's a little extra. So just a tiny bit. So what David did, he actually had actors, play out, I would imagine it's the first like what page or two of the Kickstarter. And it was so enjoyable. Like I watched it. Now, normally when I see someone have like a Kickstarter, you know, and video, and it's like 2 to 3 minutes, I watch maybe 10 seconds of it. And I'm like, okay, this is cute. Or I just, you know, close the laptop or whatever. But for yours, I watched the entire thing. Like it was so relatable. So okay, I'm jumping the gun. So David, tell the viewers about your particular intro.
Yeah, it was something that we directed. I couldn't be there to direct it. My cinematographer, Lex Kimbrough, founder of Brave Boy Media, dope, awesome black filmmaker from North Carolina. Um, I couldn't be there because of during the Omarion COVID variant nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my Kickstarter. He took the directing thing on, and he's done way more directing than I have, and he killed it, and got some like fun little plastic like special effects for the last shot of it, and I think I just helped out with like the casting of it and some of
The
the
easy
script
part.
stuff. Yes, yeah, well, yeah, all the easy stuff. But actually, well, he told me like the Harriet thing that we shot was way more stressful. He's like, oh, this was like really easy. But yeah, like he basically I we thought about just making like another like because we did a commercial for my comic book series Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer back in like 2020. For everyone who might not heard, I told the story of just doing like this 30-second commercial thing. And Lex brought it up again because he was a cinematographer on it. He's like, "Yo, you should do that again." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Because he directed my interview
Mhm.
thing, And I think when we were finishing up with that, he's like, "Hey, we should like add." And hilariously, this Kickstarter was going to drop in November. Um, and we shot my interview uh, thing that starts the Kickstarter and plays throughout. And I think when we were wrapped with it, he's like, "All right, that's a wrap." Damn, I wish we like did a scene or something like that instead. Oh well. And I was like, "Wait, that's dope as shit. That
We
would have
still
been
can.
cool." But like for a whole bunch of reasons, like I couldn't do the Kickstarter in November. I was like really busy with like getting the graphic novel for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer out there. I was fulfilling a Kickstarter from 2019 because 2020 like erased so much stuff.
It really did.
Yes, I'm kind of sort of getting back on track with everything. Is the 25 pledge? Yes, Brad. The $25 pledge is for the digital and physical copy of the 80-page first chapter. Yeah, we just wanted to make something cool and fun. Because the book is cool and well, I think the book is cool and fun, and has lots of heart. Because for everyone, Nightmare in Newark is about this woman coming out to her family, and she's going to do it on Thanksgiving, and she has lots of anxiety and fear around this because um, it's hard when you black. What does she basically she doesn't think she thinks her family will love her less or disown her. So this is a big step. So she's gonna come out to her family. She's committed to it, and in the middle of her like preparing to come out to her family, this like crazy alien invasion happens. Holy shit, scary as hell. So she has to survive this alien invasion and come out to her family.
So I do want to ask a question about the art team, because I think I've read somewhere that the artist is the Tank Girl artist.
Yes. The artist is Brett Parson, who draws Tank Girl.
That is cool. That is so cool. There we go. Yes.
Yes, Brett Parson is dope and awesome. Like I'm so glad he's the artist on this. Like, because I had trouble trying to like pinpoint like which specific artist to pick for this story, and he had done a cover for me for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, uh, uh, like 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I was just looking at it, I was like, wow, this looks really cool. And then I got some of some Tank Girl books, and just the way he does like comedy and action, and just his characters, they always have personality. Um, so I said, hey man, like I'm working on this story that I've been working on since let me like 2018, and I told him about it, and he was like, oh cool, like that sounds fun. And also like I like that story, like it has like heart, and also you can do so many like cool things with it. And I'm like, hey, will you be free? Because they're like, yo, it is hard to get like a good artist.
It is.
um
It really is, because they're
you,
always
when you're hunting people
no.
down, or you find someone and their art is amazing, but you don't like working with them.
I haven't encountered that yet, and I hope I never will. But
Wait, say again.
now you got to spill the tea. I mean, of course you can't give names, but that's got to be really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, man. Like I had to. The reason why, like the graphic novel for Harriet took so long is like I had the artist kind of picked out for issues, like 1 through I think that last Kickstarter was for issues 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I knew who the artist was going to be for 3, 4, and yeah, for 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I think Cortland Ellis, he got an animation. He got like another like animation side gig, so he couldn't do issue 6. And I said, hey man, that's all right. Like I usually I change up the team with each issue or every other issue, not so I don't like over exhaust the team. And also I think it's kind of cool and interesting to change things up sometimes. Um, but I picked this one artist, and I won't name names, but all I will say is that he is a popular artist with the big two. Is all I will say.
Okay.
And him and I became like good friends from this. I approached him and said, "Hey man, I've been a fan of your work," and he's a veteran. He's like a veteran. He's a veteran black artist. All I will say. And
Okay.
I said, "Hey man, I've been a fan of your stuff since I was 13. Um, what's it called? So, do you want to do my comic?" And he was like, he was really like into it. I said, "Cool, awesome." And I was waiting on some money, and I got my Monets together, and I paid this guy, and I paid him his big two rate.
Mhm.
Paid him his big two rate. Not only did I use it from the Kickstarter, but I used my own tax return. That's how
Mhm.
passionate I was about getting this dude. My own government cheddar return. I was like, yo, here's some extra stuff. And basically, he just disappeared with my money.
Wow.
And I would just say, hey man, I'm going to need some pages, please. And he's like, oh man, I got you this Thursday. I said,
That is
cool, no
very
problem. Thursday comes and goes, nothing. And I'm like, hey man, I kind of need to like see something. And he's like, don't worry, man, I got you on Monday. I said, okay. And then like 2 months later, I've seen nothing. And I just said, hey man, like it's
refund.
August. This book is supposed to come out on Halloween. And not only because you're doing pencils and inks, my colorist like put out space and time and turned down work to do this job. So you're kind of holding up her from opportunities, and also we're releasing issue 6 on Halloween, and we're gonna release the trade um, in December, and also give it to our backers in December, and then officially release it around Christmas time. So you're kind of holding up a lot of stuff right now. And he says, "Don't worry, man. You don't get these pages. It's gonna be flowing." September rolled around and nothing. So I had to, and shout out to TJ Sterling who gave me
Okay.
this piece of advice. Whenever you pay an artist or pay anyone to commission or do work for you, always do it through your business account.
Mm,
Get a business account LLC for your work for your company, and pay it through that on your PayPal account, because you
mm,
can call PayPal and just say, hey, like this artist or this person that I paid has not turned in work.
mhm.
Um, and PayPal will call you, talk to you, and you explain everything, show them all the receipts, and they'll go, all right, cool. And they will take money out of his account and
Good.
put it back into your account.
Good. I did. I see. I love that there's a happy ending to this.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. There was. I mean, I would have rather like him get the like the to finish
It's
the
actually artwork.
chapter 6.
So my question is, and it's probably a dumb one. Was that the last time you heard from that man at all?
Yeah, I like he didn't
Wow.
even say sorry or anything like that. He just was like, "Yo, man, PayPal took money out of my account. Why is my account negative? Like, what the fuck?" And
Dude, come on.
I just was like, I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I just like, yeah, that was the last time I heard from him. And I won't put his what's it called? And I think I was talking to a few other like indie creators. Um, and it's sadly when it's a black indie with black indie creators, when we get someone, not all the time, some of them are great. When we get an artist that's worked for the big two,
Mhm.
and this isn't with every black artist, but when it's a black artist that has worked with the big two, and when it's like, hey, do an indie book with a black, awesome, dope indie writer. They go, I don't know if I. They get like really weird about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I've had it happen like 2 times to me. I don't know what it is.
I don't like that. And it kind of reminds me, and I'm not going to name names either, but we can discuss it offline, obviously. But
Yeah.
a good friend of mine, he's getting into the whole, comic book industry, and he's already making his, his way, with acting, and he has his own books out, stuff like that. So he I wish he had told me about this particular artist first before he commissioned him, because I would have said, "Don't do it." You know,
Mm.
he came to me after there was already a problem. Excuse me, and it was like he already given him money, and the artist, said, "Oh, I don't like how this layout looks," so I changed it, and it went on for almost, I want to say, maybe 6 months, maybe up to a year type thing. And I felt so bad because as soon as he told me the name, I was like, "Ah, I could have told you." I said, "I could have told you that." And I felt so bad, but it seems like, we do have to get burned in order for us to be a little more, I guess, a little less, naive, or well, I guess really naive, because of course you're getting into this business, and some of us don't have a guide, that comes in later on or whatever. And through a lot of, trial and error, we get to a point where we're okay. We have, we built this network. And so this network that I'm building, I can ensure that the next person who's trying to break in doesn't have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That is just it is so dirty, and it's like, you knew, I mean, you knew this person needed this project completed by X amount of time, and for you to deliberately, postpone it or just delay it because you didn't want to do it, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, like I would rather, like, I had an artist who was doing a cover for me, and I think he was I think he was from Brazil, and he got back to me I think a month later, and I figured it would take a month because he's a very like detail.
Okay,
He has really clean lines, and he inks his own stuff, and he was coloring it too.
that's a lot.
Um, yeah, a lot of stuff, and it was like a big cover. It was for issue 10 of Harriet,
Okay.
and he got back to me. He said he wrote this like long like letter email. He's like, "Hey man, I'm so sorry. I can't do this. I thought I said yes because I think your comic book is cool, and I thought I could do it, but my bandwidth between like I have kids
Yeah.
and I'm doing two different books at the same time and doing my own passion project. Like I don't have the bandwidth to do this cover right now. I'm so sorry. And he like returned all my money and gave me like $100 extra.
Oh,
Um, which
okay.
he didn't have to do that.
No, he
Like
was not.
didn't do that at all. But yeah, I was grateful that like he took like but it had been a month and he was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Hopefully next time we can like work together." And that would have been fine.
And that's
This
professional.
guy, like what I just told you, Malachi, was 4 months of back and forth.
That is just, oh, it makes you want to choke someone and stomp on their face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like yeah, I was furious because I lost money. It
Mhm.
affected it put me in bad standing because I was already like late with delivering on like the last Kickstarter because of this stupid pandemic.
Yeah.
And then when things started rocking and rolling and I had paid this guy, um, and he's like, "Yo, like I think issue 6 is 30 pages." And he's like, "Oh, I can easily knock out, 30 pages in like 2 months." And I was like, "All right, cool, awesome. That's perfect because I want to get all this done and out." And I think Kickstarter was like kind of checking in on people who had uh, Kickstarters either right before the pandemic, because a lot of people like had to like say, "Hey, I don't know when I'm going to deliver certain things," because either this printing company that prints my book, um, they've gone out of business, or like supply. It's even harder now with supply shortages. So I think Kickstarter had just asked me like, "Hey, we know stuff happens. What's going on?" I said, "Hey, don't worry. Like, I think this was like in April of 2020, of 2021."
Mhm.
And I just said, "Yeah, I'll be able to deliver the last, because the last tier is the graphic novel. Everyone got their posters and T-shirts
One of that book.
and prints, all that stuff. But like, what was missing was the graphic novel. So I said, yeah, I'll be able to deliver that. And when I wasn't able to, Kickstarter like looked at me funny. They were
Mhm.
like, "Hey, we might have to suspend you
Oh,
for not delivering your rewards." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no! I promise I'm delivering it. I'm not gonna like take people's money and like run away. Okay,
like some people.
yeah, yeah. Some people, I I won't name names, but they know who they
You already know.
are. Yeah, yes. And I'm so mad because at least two of them are black creative, so that makes me like furious.
It's the worst.
I'm
I
like,
just want
no,
to
it's
you
already hard out for us to do shit.
because David, you didn't go to. Okay, we'll talk about this later, but continue.
No, no, but I think that they believe me. They're like, okay. So I said, hey, I just went through this thing with this artist, and I had to find I had to find someone new and find someone fast. And I think, but Matteo Illuminati ended up doing
He
issue
is
6.
amazing. I love him. His art.
Yes, him and his fiance Ariana both like did it. Like, she did the colors, he did the pencils and inks. And originally they were supposed to do issue 7.
Okay.
Um, and I think that what's it called? I was what was I doing? They were waiting on issue 6 because a whole bunch of new characters get introduced in issue 6. So like they can't work until they see what these character or what this guy was doing in issue 6. So they were delayed too. So
That is
I was furious. I was fuming. But it's okay. They did issue 6 and they killed it. And graphic novel came out. It came out during a printer ink and paper supply shortage. It's fine because it's out now in people's hands. But yeah, like that whole paper supply thing is real, because I think I
real.
in the approved proof for the graphic novel in February 23rd. I put in the approved proof with
Mhm.
this company to print it. And I didn't get my graphic novel in hand, and my backers and people who pre-ordered it didn't get it till like May.
Yeah, that's because I remember when the big two were going through the same issues, and I'm like, okay, well, I understand because there's a paper shortage, but it didn't really click to me that hey, that's going to affect us as well because we're also producing comic books. And I know, with us at Wingless, we finally encountered that, and we're on track now. But you know, no one wants to be inconvenienced. Especially us. We want to get this product out to our readers, but there's some things that are just so. It's just frustrating. Like you think about this pandemic, and when you really sit down and think about it, and it has like infiltrated every level and layer of society. Like it has disrupted so much. Not to mention the many lives that it's claimed. Um, but you think about like how the day to day has been forever changed, and it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really frustrating.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, like it's like it's weird when like uh I think I was watching like a movie or something like that, or I think I looked at my phone. I had like this funny video on my phone, and it was New York City,
Mhm.
and I was in New York for I was like visiting some friends, and I think it was like crowded. It was like really crowded. This is like 2017, and it was like just crowded,
Oh,
and I was like, ugh.
yeah, oh, painful.
I was like, ugh, people are like on top of you and stuff. And like there's like a funny like little video of us like just walking around, and I'm like, yeah, where the hand sanitizers at? I was like, ugh. And man, like I don't know if you've experienced this too. Like I don't know, like I can't like I look at like crowded things like totally different
Oh
now.
yeah. Even like when you go out to eat, like like so we used to like going to this local buffet place. I
Mhm.
will never go to a buffet again. Mm-mm. And the yeah, they serve the food now, with gloves and but that always should have been the case anyway. But you think about how it used to be, how people be breathing over the food, and I just I can't do it. One of my dear friends, her name is Beth Cattleman, and I've known her since I was 14. She was the librarian at my high school, and we're still in touch. Here we are, like 25 years later, and I adore her. So we're Facebook friends. She cracks me the fuck up. So early on with this pandemic, she was talking. She was like, I'm not ready to see people's mouths again. I don't want to see any teeth. You know, she's like, I don't want to see any of that. Keep that mask on. And I laughed, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to see no smiles either. Keep that mask on, bedazzle it, bling it out, do what you got to do, and make it fun. But I don't want to see teeth.
Yeah, man. Like even like I was traveling before, and ever since they lifted this mask mandate on planes,
Yeah. And I traveled back in February, and I was like, listen, y'all, don't breathe on me.
yeah. Like I heard like one of those ugly liquid coughs where it was like I was like,
No, no, we're not doing that. Mm-mm. No, we will
like
not.
yo, can't do it, can't do
Like
it.
stand on that X over there. Do not enter
Mhm.
space. Like, did you ever watch Will and Grace?
Yes.
So, do you remember when what's her name? Parker Rosie, is that her name? She was the she hired Jack at Barney's.
Oh yeah.
So I remember he went to hug her, and she's like, "No, never enter this place."
Yeah,
That stayed with me, and here we are. And I'm like that for real. Like, don't breathe on me. Don't do it. Don't
man,
even
like
look at me.
yeah, like I think I had someone who was behind me. I think I was gonna go see that Buzz Lightyear movie. That's right. I'm grown. I still saw Buzz Lightyear, so
That's fine.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And like I was in line to go see Lightyear.
Mm.
It was all right. It was all right. I wish it was better. I love certain aspects. Anyway, review later for that.
Okay.
Um, Still enjoyable, but I just felt like air on my arm, and I
Mm.
looked, and there was a dude who was like, who just like
Oh
did that.
no,
Yeah,
like, sir, you don't know me well enough to be exhaling on me,
yeah. I was like, yo,
sir.
and he was like, what?
With the attitude or that bass in his voice.
Yeah, and like no mask.
Uh-uh.
It's like just a guy who was just signing. He was like, I
That's
like felt all of it on my arm, and I was just like, no,
that's
no. Yeah, man. A lot of people people are bold out here. Like again, man. When I was on the plane, I think I saw one dude take his face mask and put it on his eye.
why. Like, I- see, and this is why I was telling you, before the show started, I don't leave the apartment. Like, if it's not, imperative, I don't do it. He'll go out, he'll get food for us, whatever. But for me, it's like I will stay here where it's relatively safe. We saw how well that happened. But anyway, um, it's just people they are bold. Like, so for me, I go to our we have a gym on the apartment complex, and I had to change my my routine because when I went there during my lunch break at 12:30, too many people. So you have the young kids in there. So my thing is, I know that you're paying rent too, and you have every right to use this gym like everybody else. But keep a mask on. You know, and the thing about it is like you really can't enforce it. But if there is more than 3 people in that small ass gym, and I'm the only person with a mask on, that's a problem. And you guys
Yeah,
don't want to wipe down the sweat off the equipment, leaving booty juice everywhere. Like, no, I can't do it. So I started going in the mornings. Like David, I get up now at 6:30 in the morning so I can get my workout in. Do about an hour. Then I log in for work because I telework from home. And even then, it's starting to get crowded. I'm like, do I need to get a membership somewhere?
I don't know, man. Like I have a gym membership, and they're even more ball. like,
Maybe you're right. Maybe I can't do it.
I haven't considered. I'm like, yo, man, if I buy a kettlebell, like I can get a full body workout at home,
You really could
and
though.
just because like I went to the gym and I got a personal trainer because
Mhm.
like I was lacking that discipline,
Yeah.
and they this my personal and he was a great trainer, and he said something where he was like, we were talking about like COVID, and like I had my mask on,
Mhm.
and he just said like, man, I don't know why they're forcing us all to get shots. It's just like the flu. It ain't no big deal. And I was like, oh no, I have to fire you.
Right.
I was like, oh no, you're like a really good train. Cause and I was considering, I was like, you know what? We always train, when no one's in the gym. Cause
Mhm.
I think we usually do like 2 o'clock. And
Okay.
I'm like, all right, because it's usually like empty in that hour. So I was like, yo, man, I'll like let me take this off because it's just him and I just
Mhm.
working out together.
You messed
It'll
it
be
up.
fine. And I took it off, and then like he whooped my ass with this good full body workout, and then
Mhm.
he was just like, yeah, man, I don't know why like everyone has to get shots now. Like it's just the flu. Anywho,
Mm,
great work today, David.
you did not
Um,
call.
and I was like,
No.
I was like, oh no.
He's like, we're friends now. Like, no, I'm the client.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, and like at first, like I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna let him know I'm kind of uncomfortable, and I'll let this slide. And
Mhm.
then I was supposed to have a book signing in, I was gonna have a book signing in North Carolina, and
Okay.
well, it's not. I shouldn't say hilariously. It's not funny.
Am I going to
But
laugh though?
what's up?
Am I going to laugh?
Maybe. I found out like that this particular bookstore they were like, yo, take off that mask when you come inside. Freedom, air is free. And I was
Oh,
like, yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you? And the whole entire shop caught COVID.
it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, how do they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes? Like, why would you invite that in?
Yes. So the whole shop caught COVID. They felt bad. I think I couldn't get like a refund on my flight. So I think so that the comic books are like paid, paid for my flight and everything like that. And I just said like, yeah, my book signing got canceled this weekend, so I'll be in the gym just doing some cardio stuff. And he's like, oh, why did it get canceled? I'm like, oh, like the whole entire shop caught COVID. He's like, man, so what if they caught COVID? They still. Oh, and I was like, oh no, like you're a really good trainer, and I've lost a lot of body fat and got lots of. I've lost lots of body fat, and you're really good at pushing me, you getting me to that Henry Cavill body. But like, I don't know if I can do this shit. But I think he ended up getting a job like somewhere else, and he got like transferred um to like a gym that was like 40 minutes away from me, and I'm like, oh, I ain't coming with you, brother. Sorry.
See, thank the bright lady for that, because it kept you from firing him on the spot. But people. So anyway, to switch gears, because we could talk about the pandemic until we're blue in the face. But what I did want to ask you regarding, your journey as a writer, as a storyteller, and I had mentioned this in the previous podcast before we were interrupted. You are doing extremely well in this medium. You are working on having your stories adapted to TV shows. That is major, and I salute you for that.
Thank
But
you.
of course. So with that said, what is the creative process? What goes on in your head when you're writing down the story? What speaks to you?
I think for me, I need to find what makes my characters quirky in a
Okay.
way, and kind of latch on to that. Um, like I found out in my research for Harriet Tubman, like I found out she had a sense of humor and she
Mm.
cracked jokes, and she did that not just to make herself relax, but to make like everyone that she was leading to freedom be at ease, because this is a scary, traumatic ass thing that is happening. This is extremely terrifying. And then it got even worse when her identity leaks and people find out who she is and her name.
Mm.
um, so like I'm like, okay, that kind of changes how I'm gonna write this story, because okay, in the face of all of that, like this woman is cracking jokes and she's funny and making other people laugh. Okay. And also doing research. I write everything down. I do the first draft of anything in like my little like notepad
Mm-hmm.
first, just to get it out of my head, um and then I end up like going to like my laptop and typing it, and then I'll send that first initial draft to my editor, Sharonda J. Brown, awesome, dope, Black queer editor who also she wrote this great book about Black asexuality, which you can
Nice.
buy. Follow her,
Okay.
Sharonda J. Brown. Um, and she was an editor. She's like my one of my best friends and my editor. Um, and then she'll like read it and like she'll say, hey, like this is cool, more of this, or
Yeah.
hey, like what, because her and I will have conversations about things and say, hey, like what you pitched to me sounded really cool, but I don't think it's being reflected,
Mhm.
like on the page right now. And sometimes I'm like, yo, girl, someone's gonna draw it, then you'll see it. And I get like all frustrated and shit, but she's just trying to like help me and keep it focused and clear. And I just started working with her like recently,
Okay.
like I think issue uh, as of issue 6 of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer in that script phase. And
Okay.
then she was the editor on issue 7, and she's the editor on Nightmare in Newark right now, especially. Um, with this being a lead character who is Black, female, and queer, and having to get underneath that voice. With telling this story, and especially with Nightmare in Newark, I think I did more research than I did with Harriet, just because I felt there was more of a responsibility
Mm.
to this story that doesn't get seen or reflected. um, and wanted to, yeah, I know it's like there's comedy and there's aliens and all this goofy stuff is happening, but when I've interviewed people about coming out to, like, I interviewed like tons of queer Black people about coming out to their families, and you would wait, hold up, brother, I gotta interview you. Shit.
I was like, I didn't get the DM, but okay.
We're gonna put the
No,
gonna put wait,
fine.
actually, actually, yes, I did DM you. Well, I DM'd you like a while ago. It was like back in like 2019 or something like that.
Really?
It's okay. It's yeah, yo, Greg Anderson, LSA, like he's one of my good friends. I like asked him like I think he was the first person like asked, and he didn't get back to me till like I didn't interview him till like last year. And I was like, yo, dude, what the fuck?
It's funny you say that because Greg is one of my brothers, like my brother from another mother. And
Mhm.
yesterday, I don't know if you saw it yet, but I put up a post on my Facebook where it's the Sabrina the Teenage Witch a meme where she's eating all those pancakes that are being brought out to her.
Yes.
So so I was inspired by another post I saw, and I was going to use the original post, but they had Westworld in it instead of what did I put in there? I put something else in there. I
I
switched
think
it up.
you put the boys, you put Obi-Wan
Kenobi,
and
Umbrella Academy,
Umbrella Academy, Ms.
okay,
Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Yep, it was something else I replaced it with, but I wanted to make it like my personalized list. So Greg, he commented and he was like, I like all of this, but you know, um, I haven't seen the boys yet. And I'm like, wait, what? I said, this is on his third season. And I said, and I know for a fact it's a show that he would enjoy because we have similar interests. And I was like, so what's detaining you from this? And he's like, everything. And I'm like, well, he's always on the go. He's always at some con. He's at a con now in Charlotte, kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
you. We're gonna go. So
he,
it
he,
makes
he is
sense.
working out. That's what's happening. He's in the gym. I roasted the living shit out of him because I like sent him a text message. I called him because I really wanted to interview him for this. And I think I like it was really bad. I like hopped on one of like a live that he was on, and I was like,
Hey, man.
I was like, yo, man, put the weights down and like return my fucking calls. All right, we get it. We get it. You look good naked. Put the weights down and like call me back. And he was like, yo, man, why'd you have to drag me like that on my life?
Sometimes it happens. It's like, dude. But
Trying to write this book, damn it. Trying to get some trying to get underneath the emotional life of this book. Of this character, but no, he was really great, and he gave me like a lot of his time. Like I think we talked on the phone, and I took a bunch of notes. Yeah, it was like a 2 3 hour like conversation,
oh wow.
and he just told me like in depth about like, and he had to do it like three different ways. Like I think with his mom, with his
Mhm.
dad, and with the rest of his family. And then just talking to other people. Like there's one guy who he didn't want to be named, um, and he comes from a really poor family in Tennessee, and he became like really successful. He lives in New York City. He works in Wall Street, and he wanted to give money to his family, and his parents won't accept the money
Wow.
because they think the money is like devil money.
That's
Um, yeah, and I'm just like, wow, like that's insane. Like I was like, word, and I think like hilarious. Like I knew this bullshit was out there, but like I didn't know it. Like I was not, or maybe I was prepared, but was still kind of shocked anyway. Um, well, like when I announced like my comic book nightmare in Newark, I'm like, yo, this is my next book. Like so many, like some black people were like, yo, man, I can't believe you doing this agenda book now. And I was like, what? I
oh,
was like,
hearing that.
he's like, yo, he became Hollywood, and he had to do a gay book. That's what he's doing right now. David Crownson did what Little Nas X did to our children. He tried to feed us this Harriet Tubman demon slayer to empower us, and now he's doing Nightmare in Newark, which is an agenda book to destroy the black community. I was like, yo, delete this fucking comment. This is fucking ridiculous. I was like, yo, man, Twitter was ridiculous. I had to block so many people and like laugh.
And that's I see that's something that I wanted to piggyback on what you said earlier. With Harriet Tubman using humor, that's something that we as a people use anyway to deal with trauma. To mask or to process, a deep hurt or a deep wrong that was said against you. We laugh it off. We chuckle about it, and as a community, we acknowledge that. We are some of the funniest people. We are hilarious, but people in our same community don't realize we have to do it more so
Hmm.
because we're Black and we're queer, and so it's very it's annoying when you see like the comments that friends are leaving, and you see like these Facebook groups allowing this hateful speech, the gay agenda. It's like there's no gay agenda. Yes, we like to have brunch. We don't antique anymore. We're just like you. We just look better. We dress better. But I gotta wrap this up. But I do have a few more questions for you, David. My next question for you, you know, for the queer child that's watching this podcast, because I like to think they're out there. What would you have to say to them being a storyteller?
Just make sure you surround yourself with people that are team you,
Mm,
who will give it to you, who will be honest and transparent and are fans of you and
mm,
want to see you succeed. Um, Also, like, don't be afraid to mess up. Like, at least get it out there. Get a rough draft because it's a rough draft. Um, Also, chase those things that inspire you. Um, Chase your that there's like that quote is like chase your bliss,
mm.
basically.
I like that.
Uh, Focus on things that make you feel inspired. Whether it's like there's like an energy about watching something, like watching a film or a TV show that you love. It does something to you. Like, I think I was watching, like, even with like pacing and energy, like I was watching like I started watching Friday, you know, and I was like, I need something where it's black people just being honest. Like Friday would be an amazing like play. It would be an amazing like
Yeah.
yeah. So I just was like, yeah, chase things that give you joy. Um, also things that you don't like, things that if you feel hurt and pain, um, sit in it just for a little bit.
Mhm.
I believe in renting uh, space in things that hurt or cause pain, or to have it be something that you're renting, but don't like put a mortgage on that shit. All right, you gotta let that shit go. You
Good.
gotta let it go. You're like, ow, that hurt. I'm gonna sit in this so I know how this feels, and also so I can appreciate when something great and beautiful and amazing happens. Um,
That's good.
that's what I got. I'll also make fun of laugh at people who are shitty.
I mean, I do that on a daily basis. But my last question for you, David, and again, I want to thank you for being here. Where can we
Having
find you on social media? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at dcrownson, and for Instagram and Twitter. You can you can also follow Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer on Instagram as well at Harriet Tubman underscore. That underscore is real. Harriet Tubman underscore Demon Slayer, and you can go to my website kingwoodcomics.com if you want to order the Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer graphic novel. And you can go to Kickstarter.com and type in Nightmare in Newark, and you can pre-order the 80-page first chapter. It's going to be a 7-chapter series of Zoe Alvarez coming out to her parents and having to fight an alien invasion. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be dope. Buy it, order it, pre-order it, tell your friends about it, and you'll get the first print edition in December.
I appreciate you for doing this, and I'm surprised that we haven't done it sooner, but I'm glad it happened in the time that it did. So
Same.
yeah, because you're you're pretty funny.
Thank you, man. You're hilarious. You crack me up.
Stop it, please. So before we go, because I'm a Leo, so I got to show up. Each week, I've been showing off like my LGBTQ esque shirt, Look how hot this shirt is. Can you guys see it? It's Electra from Pose.
Oh, snap. Dopeness.
Right?
There you go.
It's a show that they ended too soon because of Billy Porter. Okay? I blame him.
Oh, no, I've heard the cast is great, but I heard the showrunner was on some bullshit.
Wow. What's the name? Okay, we'll discuss it offline.
Yes.
Because we can go on for another hour. But again, David, thanks for coming. Guys, check out his Kickstarter, Nightmare in Newark. It is on Kickstarter. So check it out, support him, give him your coins, and you won't regret it. But thanks for coming on, David. I do appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Malachi. This has been great. Yay. Yes. Thank you so much.
No problem, sir. I'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Bye.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
I'm Steve Bloom. I've been a voice actor for more than 30 years, playing characters like Wolverine, Starscream, Tank Dempsey from Call of Duty.
With Bloomfox Studios, I've learned so much about myself.
Learning to breathe, to no fear, to getting ugly in front of the mic.
One of the biggest changes I've noticed, at least for me, is how much my confidence level has gone up.
Done an Eastern European video game, an e-commerce commercial, a documentary. If you're thinking about getting into voiceover, just do it. Jump in.